right, so tonight I'm making a new recipe, foil packet shrimp pasta. It's in a Pioneer Woman cookbook, one of her newer ones, not the newest one, but the one that was out before that, I think. So I've heated up, I didn't have any olive oil, so I used the Pampered Chef's garlic infused canola oil. It will call for garlic later on, so I'll just reduce that a little bit. I'm going to take about half of my shrimp and put them in here, and I'm going to season them with salt. It's not going to take long. They're only going to take about 1.5 to 2 minutes to cook. There we go. I'm using Pampered Chef's. I'm also going to need, I know my husband uses our old can opener a lot of times, especially with tuna. And he's like, oh, shrimp tongs. Somewhere, like saute tongs, not sure where. So I'm just going to use my bamboo ones. Make sure these are all flat. So I'm just going to sprinkle these with some salt. I bought frozen, peeled, deveined, tailed off shrimp. Because, you know, guys, I don't know when shrimp season is, but we don't have any fresh shrimp right now. Or even fresh frozen shrimp, so. But you can tell when shrimp are getting done. Because like if you look at this one, how it's open, shrimp will close up. Let me see if I can pick this up and show you. Shrimp will close up to make an O shape when they're pretty much done. So I'm gonna just flip these over. So I'm just gonna use these. These are going to be so much easier instead of using that. There we go. That worked. And all else fails, just shake it up. Let me get out something to put all of this stuff on. All right, so I'm keeping my butter out and the oil because I'm going to need it again. I go into the oven, hence the foil packet. Some nights it's just easier to make things easier. You know, it calls for 4 cloves of minced garlic. Well, I was like, I literally pulled out my minced garlic that I had in the refrigerator. I don't use it very often, but it was one of those days. Sarah and I had been out picking up some stuff. We had to go get new collars for our underground fence for the dogs, a couple of the dogs. Theirs stopped working. At least one of them did. And they've been running amok. All right, so let's see. Done. Reduce heat to medium. Add. Stir in the garlic to prevent it from burning. All right, then we need wine. How much wine? 1/2 cup. So, let's see, will this come out or do I need the wine thing? Move that there for a second so it doesn't burn. Alright, so 1/2 cup of wine. Almost. Okay, good enough. Alright, so I'm going to add just a little bit more of the oil because it calls for more butter and oil. So I'm going to add that. And I'll add just a smidge of butter. I don't want to overdo it with all that. Apparently this isn't healthy. But we're going to let this cook, listen to me. Let that melt down. I've got my tomatoes. Do they need to be drained? No. All right, so reduce to medium heat, add the remaining tablespoon of butter and olive oil to the skillet, throw in the garlic and stir to prevent it from burning. Then stir in the wine, let the liquid reduce for a couple minutes, stir in tomatoes with their juices. Okay, let me go ahead and get a spoon out. Yeah. There we go. All right, we're gonna throw this in here. That's good to get all the yummy stuff off the bottom as well. Okay. Let that reduce just a little bit. You know, cooking with alcohol, the alcohol is going to burn off, so don't really need to worry about that too much. We give this, separate the noodles. I'm only going to let these go about a minute more. Now that I've separated them, let them boil about another minute or two. Who knows? So yeah, I spent the day with Sarah. We were looking for a new Christmas tree because ours, the stand broke. Millie may know. The stand broke last year. And literally we had the tree like propped up in a corner at an angle. It was ridiculous. So I'm looking for a tree. We didn't really see anything that like wowed us. So we're gonna look Saturday at Lowe's, I think. Let's see what we come up with. There we go. Tomatoes in. It called for 3 cups or 3 cans, the 14.5-ounce cans of tomatoes. So I just used 1 of these. I probably should have used more, but I think we're fine. I didn't have any smaller cans. This reminds me almost of when I used to make brown tomatoes. Have any of y'all ever heard of brown tomatoes? I never had until I was dating my husband. And they were talking about brown tomatoes. And I'm like, what? Brown what? And they're like, tomatoes. So basically you take your flour and oil, equal amounts, you know, to create almost like the base or gravy. Let it brown, season it if you want, and then you just pour in tomatoes. And you end up with brown tomatoes. Of course, it's not super healthy, but it's amazing over grits. I bet it'd be good with shrimp and, you know, grits like that. Oh, I bet that'd be so good. I might play around with that one day. See what I need to add, things like that. All right, let's see. I need to add some salt. There we go. Need to add pepper. And what else? Simmer for about 7 minutes. Okay. We can do that. It does not need to be covered. I could cover it, I guess, if I wanted to. But I think it'll be okay. It's not going to take long for that to come. Oh, there it goes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this off and drain these noodles real quick. Give me one quick second. I'm just going to use the same colander. Give it a quick wash. So pulling out another one. Whew. Again, the pasta's not going to be al dente or even it's not gonna feel right. So I'm gonna let that drain just a little. And we gotta start getting our foil ready. There's really no good way to, let me scoot you back some, and maybe y'all can see it. So it says to take 2 large sheets of foil. I always buy the off-brand of the store brand heavy foil. It works really good. So I need to get 2 large sheets, and I'll need to overlap them by about 8 inches. That's going to help keep it from, there we go. All right, so I overlap it on a rimmed baking sheet. Great. Pour the drained pasta onto the foil, spoon the tomato sauce and sauteed shrimp on top, making sure you have all the juices in. Tightly wrap the foil. All right, so let me get out my baking sheet as I make a bunch of noise for you. All right, so I'll put this pour the drained pasta onto the foil. All right. There we go. Drained pasta onto the foil. There's some that was left in the pot. My kids always used to love it when I drained the pasta out. Usually I add a little bit of oil to my pasta to help keep it from sticking together. Okay, y'all, I just took it out of the oven. I've warmed up my cream. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, I wish y'all could smell this. All right, so we're gonna drizzle it with the heavy cream, sprinkle with the basil, parsley, and cheese, okay? It says not to open it up until you're ready to serve it. That way it stays hot and all together. Let me get out my cheese right here. I don't think, a lot of times I'll take my canister of regular grated cheese. When it's done, I'll put my good cheese in there. I say good cheese, what looks like regular shredded Parmesan cheese. So let's see, we're gonna drizzle it. This is a 1/2 cup. I guess we use all of it. And then parsley. Some basil. And of course, if you don't like any of this stuff, you don't have to use it. Okay. I'm going to take my fork. Actually, you know what might be better is using the spaghetti fork. This is Wyatt's favorite kitchen tool for some reason. He loves this. He'll use this for everything. So I'm just kind of giving it a little shimmy shimmy so all these flavors can kind of go together. I mean, nothing leaked out. That's pretty cool. It almost reminds me of a dish that we used to get at O'Charlie's, and they quit serving it. So I hope this tastes like that. That'd be awesome. I'm actually going to throw in a little bit more parsley. Y'all, this looks so good. And then I'm going to open my cheese. Even though it's frozen, it will thaw very quickly. It's a fine grate. Yeah. Who doesn't love cheese? I love cheese. There we go. All right, I'm gonna fix a plate. Or a bowl, probably, might be easier. Hang on. Let's see if I can do this without busting a whole bunch of stuff. All right. Yeah, Wyatt just called and he's like, I don't think I want any of this. He's not a bit, he said the last few times he's eaten seafood, it's kind of made him not feel good. Let's get some of these tomatoes in here. All right, let me get a fork. And we're going to take a bite of this and see how it is, okay? Turn y'all just a little bit. So, I'm going to make sure we get that and the tomatoes and all this yummy goodness and the noodles. I'm going to make a mess. The only thing I'll say is it probably could use a little bit more garlic. You know, remember I used the garlic infused oil, and so I didn't add any garlic to it. But now I wish I had. So I really think the garlic would be good in it. And what I might do is I might go ahead and add some and then cover this back, seal it back up, let those flavors meld in there a little bit, and then we'll see what it's like. But y'all, this was a great recipe. It was in Pioneer Woman's Family Meals Cookbook. I ordered this, I don't remember if it was from her website or if it was Walmart, or I don't remember, but it's her cookbook. I'm not being paid to promote her or anything like that. I just enjoy her recipes. And, you know, guys, again, if you enjoyed this, give me a like, subscribe. I'll appreciate all the help. And I hope y'all have a blessed night. Bye.